Greg, move your head.
Don't miss an all-new episode of The Resident tomorrow night.
The Fox 56 10 o'clock news starts now.
Good evening, and thanks for being with us on this Monday night. Kentucky's number of confirmed coronavirus cases is now up to 25 across 7 counties. The first case, as we told you, came from Harrison County on March 6th. Since then, the number has increased. There are now cases in Fayette, Jefferson, Montgomery, Bourbon, Nelson, Clark County, and 1 patient from Bourbon County has died.
Governor Andy Beshear announced today Kentucky's primary election will be delayed by more than a month as state officials continue to fight COVID-19. Phil Pendleton was at the news conference today and explains what new restrictions are in place to keep Kentuckians safe. That's first on Fox.
Now, this morning we heard from the governor mandating that all in-person visits to restaurants and bars close. Drive-through, carry-out, curbside delivery is still being encouraged. And also, starting tomorrow, the state capitol will be open to a limited number of people. He's also asking that child care centers close by the end of business Friday. And today, the governor was joined by the Secretary of State in announcing they are going to move the primary election in Kentucky from May 19th to possibly late June.
There are no Democrats, there are no Republicans, there are no liberals or conservatives. We are only Kentuckians fighting the coronavirus until this is done.
Well, this is a bipartisan move. The way the legislature wrote the law, it requires that both the governor and I turn a key. He can't do it by himself, and I can't do it by myself. You've got a Democratic governor and a Republican Secretary of State. I think this is the right answer. And I'll add that the county clerks are pretty unanimous on this as well.
The governor said that he saw a Facebook post from an unnamed Western Kentucky restaurant saying they were going to go against this mandate. The governor says it is a mandate and it is enforceable. The state capitol in Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, the Fox 56 10 o'clock news.
The governor also says there will be a 3-month extension on expired driver's licenses.
The judge executive in Bourbon County says his heart is breaking for the family of Kentucky's first COVID-19 victim. Governor Beshear said that the 66-year-old man had underlying health problems. Bourbon County Judge Executive Michael Williams says the man was confirmed to have COVID-19 on Friday. State officials say the man had a connection to one of the cases from Harrison County.
This is a terrible tragedy, regardless of the reasons, for any family to lose a loved one. We all know that. We've all experienced that. But to be caught up in this focus of where everyone is paying attention to this loss and everyone is concerned about this loss has to be incredibly overwhelming for the individuals that are directly affected by that.
The man worked at Central Motor Wheel of America in Paris for 29 years. The company says this is a sad day for them as well. They are working with the health department to make sure his coworkers are safe.
Big news in the world of horse racing today. Keeneland Spring Meet is the latest sporting event to cancel, and reports say the Kentucky Derby is moving to the fall due to concerns about the coronavirus. Lee K. Howard is here to break down all the changes for us.
That's right, Marvin. COVID-19 impacting the horse racing industry as well. According to reports from both the Courier-Journal and WLKY in Louisville, the Kentucky Derby has been postponed from May the 2nd until September the 5th. It'll be the first time in 75 years that the Derby has not been held on the first Saturday in May. And there won't be horse racing at Keeneland this spring. Track officials announced the spring meet was canceled just 2 weeks before the races were set to begin. Keeneland President Bill Thomason calling the decision agonizing. He added that this cancellation will not only impact the horse racing industry, but it'll also severely impact the local economy.
I think we're already seeing some of the results of some of the drastic measures that are having to be taken to control the spread. It's going to be devastating to restaurant owners and small businesses and people that this is affecting. We just got to all try and find ways to hang on together. We got to be creative and find ways to keep the stimulus in our business and the interest, and I don't know what that is yet.
And Keeneland will also be closed to all non-essential guests. They will still have stabling for horses. But that's certainly a big blow to the Keeneland industry. Guys, back to you.
And a big Lexington tradition we will miss as well. Lee K, thank you. Lexington is looking at changes to keep the coronavirus from spreading. Starting next Monday, the city will end yard waste services, but trash service will continue. Lexington is also working with God's Pantry Food Bank and the United Way to supply pre-packaged food boxes. Those will be given to families in need. Mayor Linda Gorton also says first responders will make efforts to follow social distancing.
Public doesn't need to worry that our first responders are not out there working, because they will be. They will be taking calls, and they are working internally to see if there's any way their, distancing will work and that sort of thing.
Fire stations will also be closed to the public, with the exception of emergency walk-ins and car seat appointments.
The Lexington Fire Department says it is looking at some changes, but the mission of safety remains the same. The department says no visitors will be allowed inside any of the 24 stations. However, it says the service will not change, as we said, amid this virus. The stations are now focusing on social distancing among the 500-plus firefighters who work for the department.
Social distancing with the fire department is very challenging because we are a family and we spend a lot of time together in a lot of close quarters. I mean, think about your house, and if you're stuck inside with your kids right now, you can probably imagine that type of scenario, but with grown adults.
And again, firefighters say car seat safety checks will continue, but they will use extra precautions such as wearing gloves and masks. They say anyone who needs help from a station will be more than welcome.
Well, before we get a check of that forecast, you've probably noticed that we are taking a different approach to our spacing in the studio, and that's a change that will likely be in effect for at least the next couple of weeks.
Krista and I both want to be a part of this newscast, but we also want to be sure to do our part in practicing what we preach, that social distancing. Now meteorologist Chris Bailey joins us from way over there in another corner with our first look at the forecast.
You know what? I'm always in the corner over here, and that's okay at a time like this. But what we're dealing with, guys, is from the weather standpoint, some ugly conditions out there today. And given the fact that everybody's kind of cooped up indoors right now, boy, some nice get outdoors type of weather would be right up everybody's alley. And fortunately, we got more in the way of some showers and thunderstorms as the week goes by. Let's talk about what's going on right now. Live look into downtown Lexington, where we've got a little bit of cloud cover left over, scattered shower here or there. Temperatures have slowly been climbing for the better part of the day into the mid and upper 40s right now as some milder air begins to press on into town. Still a couple of gusty showers. Southern Kentucky, listen, this has been the ugliest weather of the entire state. It's been across the south and southeast all day long. We've had some on again, off again showers. Bluegrass area getting in on a ground dampening shower or two this evening. And then farther to the west, we got some more rain, even a little thunder and lightning coming out of this stuff into southern parts of Missouri. That is scooting across our skyline into southern Kentucky. That'll be the focus of the rains later tonight and early tomorrow. And then behind that, we will get in on some drier conditions as the day goes on tomorrow. So, guys, it's kind of a double-edged sword in terms of the forecast. The temperatures are going to go up. We've got mid-70s coming your way. But then the threat for showers and thunderstorms will increase, too. We'll talk about that double edge in just a few.
We can just find a little window to get the kiddos outside. I'll take it.
I do like the temperature. Well, when the ban on restaurants and bars went into effect today, some customers were getting their last meal inside their favorite local spots.
While the restaurants themselves were working to transition to only takeout and delivery. Shelby Smithson talked to people at Bella Notte on Nicholasville Road on how they'll survive the shutdown.
We knew it was inevitable.
After seeing Ohio, Illinois, and other states announcing bans and changes to bars and restaurants, Bella Notte General Manager Kyle Knight wasn't surprised by Kentucky following suit, but it is still a major shock to their business model. With the in-person dining ban, Bella Notte will be focusing on curbside pickup, partnerships with delivery services like DoorDash and Grubhub, and they're also working on the possibility of having their own people delivering food.
We have so many regular guests here that sometimes they just come in to see people. It's not even the food.
Regulars like Lee Allison and Jeff Middleswart, who came to Bella Notte Monday night to dine in for the last time for the foreseeable future.
We moved here to Kentucky about 4 years ago, and this was the first restaurant we visited, and we just fell in love with it and the people, so we just keep coming back.
And they say that won't stop now.
Once it's over, we'll be back, of course, and we'll keep coming regardless of how they have to operate in the next couple of weeks or however it works.
It's that kind of support that Knight says is getting Bella Notte through the fear of the unknown.
They're the people that are going to keep us afloat during this, and that goes for every restaurant in town. I know everybody has those people.
In Lexington, Shelby Smithson for the Fox 56 10 o'clock news.
So here's some of the changes to that restaurant. Bella Forno has now consolidated with Bella Notte, and the Smashing Tomato locations will operate out of the Fayette